Hey, what's going on, everybody? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about 10 investments that I've made in my business over the last 3.5 years that, when I look back, have absolutely played a critical role in getting me to where I am today with a 7-figure online business. Okay, I've got some slides that I've put together over here. We're going to walk through these one by one. The total amount spent across these 10 investments is just shy of $30,000. Okay, now I've bought other things along the way. I bought other programs and bits and pieces, but I sat down this morning wanting to film this video, and I really reflected over the last 3.5 years. And these are the ones that jumped out at me as being absolutely critical. Okay, and I want to walk through each of them and tell you why. When you get a few years into your online journey, you're going to be in a position where you look back and you're going to identify key parts or key moments over the years that have really driven where you get to, be that where you want to be or not where you want to be. Okay, so hopefully sharing some of these pivotal positive moments will give you some insight into what's really worked for me over the years in terms of looking at investments that I've made, and hopefully that can give you some guidance in terms of where you look to invest your money as you grow your online business, as you grow as an entrepreneur, as you work towards whatever goals it is that you currently have and that you set for yourself in the future. Okay, so we're going to jump into the computer and we are going to walk through these. Before we do that, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to work with me and my team on high ticket affiliate marketing, that's what I specialize in helping people do. Check out the Super Affiliate Accelerator. There's 2 links in the description. One has all the info about the program. The second is if you want to watch a longer case study video where I walk through the four-part framework that I teach my students, then you'll have the opportunity to apply for a call with my team. So check out one of those 2 links if you want to get into high ticket affiliate marketing. Leave any questions or comments that you've got below, and we're going to jump into this one right now. Let's do it. All right, what's going on, everybody? So we've jumped into the computer now, and I've got some slides that I put together for this video. We're going to be talking through 10 critical investments that have launched my online business to the 7-figure mark over the last 3.5 years, okay? And as I said off the top, I've spent just under $30,000 on these 10 investments. I've invested in other things, but these are 10 that really jump out to me when I look back over the last few years, okay? So let's get into them. The first one, now this is a little bit of an unusual one. Right, I'm not a massive, personal development type person. I definitely value mindset, and I think it's something critical that we should all study and work on. But I've never invested a ton in personal development training, so to speak. But the reason that I put this here as number one, the book Unshakeable by Tony Robbins, which call it a $20 investment. That's what I looked on Amazon. That might be Australian. It's going to be around that mark. When I was living in New York in 2017 and I got back into this game, I dabbled online previously, but I worked in the corporate field, and that always pulled me back to work, right? I could never really get my teeth into the online business game just because I didn't have the time. But in 2017, I was in my 2nd year living in America, and I knew that the following year I had to move back to Australia, and I didn't want to come back and do the same work that I was doing. So I needed to figure something out. And I can remember jumping on Amazon and ordering this book. I can't recall if I was actually in the frame of mind of, all right, I need to figure out another way to make money at this point. But this is really what sparked it, because I bought this, and actually at the same time I also bought Launch by Jeff Walker. And I took a trip from New York to St. Louis. I had to go there for a court proceeding that I had to, I was watched in the courthouse for a corporate client that we were working with. And on the trip there and back, I read those 2 books. Now, I'm speculating, but I'm pretty sure what's happened is, because I purchased these books, somehow with the magic of data and pixels and all those kind of things, I've ended up in a retargeting audience, or not a retargeting audience, but I've ended up in a Facebook audience where I started getting the internet marketing, make money online type ads again, right? And this was really the first book that I bought, I believe, that got me back into receiving those ads. From there, I got an ad from Russell Brunson for the ClickFunnels affiliate bootcamp. And if you know my story, that's where things really started, more from a strategic perspective. Okay, so when I look back, I can see purchasing this book and Launch by Jeff Walker as really what kickstarted it, because shortly after that I started seeing ads again, and then I got the ad from Russell for the affiliate bootcamp, which is really that was free, so I'm not put that in here as an investment, but that was really what started things. Also a great book. I would highly recommend it, as is Launch by Jeff Walker. Would highly recommend that as well. But yeah, they're really the first couple of purchases that I made that got me back into the world, so to speak. Okay. From there, I jumped into the affiliate bootcamp, and that was really probably around February. You can see on here, this is another purchase that I made in March 2017. So around February, early March, I was going through the affiliate bootcamp. I was trying some of their strategies. I was doing some stuff with solo ads, and I pretty quickly realized that those strategies weren't for me. And one thing that I talk about a lot on this channel is finding strategies that fit your situation. Okay, and so I couldn't do any of the personal branding stuff. The solo ads wasn't my vibe. I'm not a massive fan of the industry. And the strategies that they were teaching, I could see everyone was trying to do them. And I learned pretty early, when you see a lot of people doing one thing, if you go down a slightly different path, it can unlock some really cool stuff. And so at the time, Greg was posting his results in the group quite a bit, and I did some digging into what he was doing and found he had this little course, right? So you can see here, it was $100. And I can remember making this purchase. I'd hopped off the train at the train station in Jersey City. I'd get the subway downtown, and then I'd get the PATH train under the river. And I can remember purchasing this coming up the escalator. I don't know why I remember it so vividly. Probably because it was such a pivotal point when I reflect. But yeah, I spent the $100 on this, and I can honestly say this really launched things for me, because that got me into blogging, which was my first big success with affiliate marketing. So I blogged for the rest of 2017 while I was juggling the job. My blog was really built on the go. It was built in planes, in Ubers, in taxis, on the subway, and in the very limited time that I had at home in between working and sleeping and eating, and that's about it. A little bit of partying in between. And this was really the framework that got me there. Greg and I are now good friends. We've caught up in Australia, we've caught up in America, and this little $100 purchase really kickstarted things. When I look back, if I'd not done this, I don't know where I'd be. I mean, I can't say that I wouldn't have achieved anything, but it would have been a different path. So this was a really critical, albeit a small purchase, a really critical one. The next one was a little bit after that. I knew I really wanted to heavily promote ClickFunnels, and I'm a big proponent of knowing what you're promoting and owning what you're promoting. So I purchased their Funnel Hacks program, which at the time, I think it was 6 months of ClickFunnels and a bunch of other training stuff. So I could really immerse myself in what they do, what they teach, all these kind of things. That was $1,000 investment, $997. And that got me the access to all the program and the training. And I could really go through and study Russell and study what he teaches and know the software, which really helped me with what I was doing, which was chasing the dream car prize. Okay, so this is a lesson here: is if you can make the investment into what you want to promote and what you want to promote heavily, it's going to really help you, because you're going to know it better than everyone else out there promoting it blindly, getting their links and trying to share it without knowing what they are selling. Okay, so that was the next one that was really critical. This was a big investment at the time. As you'll see, I've gone on to make ones that are a lot bigger, but I can remember purchasing this and thinking, $1,000, that's a lot of money. What purchases like this, which we'll talk about in a second, but purchases like this can really light a fire under your ass to get to work. So if you struggle with drive and you find a program where you push yourself outside your comfort zone a little bit in terms of the purchase price, that can be a really good thing. We're going to touch on that again in a second. Okay, the next one was this is in March 2018, and I was back in Australia at this point, and I took a little bit of time off, unpaid from work, because I was like, right, I want to really dive into this and see if I can make a thing of it. This online business, affiliate marketing, is this something that's actually possible for me? So I took some time off, and I wasn't really enjoying the blogging anymore, and I wanted to shift up the strategy a bit. The blogging worked for me great while I was in America, and that's what I could focus on, but I wanted something different. Spencer was really up and coming at the moment. If you don't know Spencer, he's the top ClickFunnels affiliate of all time, and I got in early with him. I jumped into his program. As you can see, it was $199. It's now, I'm going to guess, closer to $800. He's since relaunched it in a 2.0 version and all these kind of things. But I jumped into his program, and I can remember it. I'd not long got back from America, and I think I was still living at my parents' place in between finding a new place, being back in Australia, and I saw it pop up, and I jumped into it. I was like, is this at the time I was thinking, is this the right move? I don't want to get this whole shiny object syndrome. Should I just crack on with the blogging? Knowing I wasn't really enjoying the process. And I could see Spencer had come in and made waves pretty quickly. And when you see people making waves and you see people doing things that most people aren't doing, a really good tip is to try and jump on and figure out what they're doing and figure out how you can work with them, even if it costs money. Okay, I've done that time and time again across the journey, and it's worked really well. So made this investment. That taught me a ton about all different strategies when it comes to affiliate marketing. Off the back of that, I was introduced to Dan Frigo. And Dan and I are good mates. We don't talk a ton, but we met at Funnel Hacking Live, and I actually jumped into a coaching package that Dan offered where he actually had some done-for-you AdWords stuff and a coaching call. I saw this pop up. Dan was getting results that I wanted. I didn't hesitate. That was $494. I jumped in and purchased it. We had the call, and I got things moving, right? There was only very limited spots in this. So this was in April. There was very limited spots. I'm going to say there was like under 10 spots. And so when you see something that you really want to do and you get an opportunity, you jump at it. Okay, so looking back, this was a really critical investment, and I got to connect with Dan. He's an awesome guy. We got to meet later at Funnel Hacking Live, and this was really pivotal to work hand in hand with Spencer's training as well. So look for complementary investments. Okay, one thing we're going to touch on at the end is some key takeaways, but not every purchase has to be like the Hail Mary pass to win the Super Bowl, right? Like you can make a purchase to strategically help one part of your business. And this is why I talk so much about getting those 3 core pillars set up, which is what do you want to promote, how do you want to promote it, and who do you want to promote it to, what platform. Because when you get those 3 things set up and you've got a plan and you're kind of rolling, you can look at it and go, right, my funnel isn't performing as well as it should be. So I'm going to go out and get specific training to fix that problem. You don't have to make every purchase as a Hail Mary. Right. So one of the core components of Spencer's training was AdWords, and I wanted more on that, and Dan was doing really well with it, so I jumped in with that. You see what I mean about purchasing complementary things? Not everything has to be like the holy grail. Find out little areas, once you've got that foundation, find out little areas where you want to take things up a notch, and then you can invest in those things specifically. Okay, so that is number 5. Number 6, this is a big one. This is a really, really big one. So these happened over the space of October, December, and January. So after I won the ClickFunnels Dream Car in August 2018, September, I had a point. I was like, do I keep doing that or do I try something different? Right, and I wanted to do something different, and this is where Legendary, I'd invested in their lower ticket thing earlier in the year, but I was so focused on the Dream Car, you can see the steering wheel behind me, that I didn't want to get distracted, and so I kind of put that on the back burner, and then after I won that, I picked this back up, and back when I started with Legendary, they're not like this anymore, but I wanted to start promoting high ticket programs, and I did a lot of research, and theirs was the best out there. From what I could see, but I didn't want to fully dive in and promote it heavily until I really knew the ins and outs. So that's when I first bought the $2,500 program, so I could see what was in that. Also at the time, you had to pay for it in order to promote it. So I was like, well, if I want to be able to earn these high ticket things and I want to be able to promote this with confidence, I need to purchase this. So I put the $2,500 on the line, which again is a lot of money, and made that investment. And because I did that, I was now all in and focused on this, right? And I could chase my goal of this, which was to hit their 100K affiliate club, right? Because I knew you got to receive this this diamond ring, which I managed to win in the second quarter of 2019. And after I did the course, they had another upsell, which was for their mastermind events. And again, this was something that I knew I'd like to attend. I'd like to be able to speak intelligently about. If people asked me, if people were looking at making this serious investment, I'd like to be able to say, yeah, look, I can speak from experience. I've been to one and I highly recommend it. You also got access to all the recordings from the previous events. So I'd actually be able to, look at it and go, this is something that I really want to promote or not. That was $15K, split the payments over two, as you can see there, 8 and 7. I've only been able to attend one so far, but I hope to attend more in the future when things normalize again, and they happen. I believe they happen every quarter. But because I'd made such a significant investment, I was all in on this program. I knew their stuff was good. I knew their stuff was helpful, and I could really push on and promote it. So that was a huge investment. And I think aside from the stuff that I got access to, aside from being able to go to the masterminds, and aside from lighting a fire under my ass to really get to work, I think this purchase and this investment really shifted my perspective on investing in myself in a big way, and learning how big the dividends can be when you back yourself in, when you get serious skin in the game, and when you back yourself in to achieve a result, it can, some amazing things can happen. So there was a lot of parts to this. This was a really pivotal time for me. And I think purchasing this and then pushing on into the high ticket space has had such a massive impact on where I am today, because that's what I focus on now, is high ticket affiliate marketing with our super affiliate accelerator program. So such a pivotal point and a big investment, but one that, in terms of not just direct income through Legendary, but what that has done in terms of propelling my journey has been massive. Okay. The next one was investing in a ticket to Funnel Hacking Live in 2019. This was a really awesome trip for me, because I got to get the steering wheel, get the award, but I got to meet so many people that over the previous, 2 years, I'd connected with online. I'd made a ton of awesome relationships with people, and I got to meet all those people. We got to have dinner, have drinks. It was fantastic. It was really good. And I bookended the trip with some time in LA, with some time in New York, catching up with friends from when I used to work over there. It was just a fantastic trip. And that was $1,000 investment, but unbelievable. When you get the opportunity to go to events, I highly recommend it, because we build these online businesses, and especially when you're getting started and it's you working on your own, it's really easy to lose touch with other people. And I really struggled with this. In mid 2019, I really hit a dark spot where I was really struggling with working on my own, with not connecting with people, and we can talk about that a bit in a second. But events are unbelievable. You get so much energy from them. You realize that there's so many people out there going through the same thing as you. You learn a ton, the networking, the doors that it opens, unbelievable. This event was where I first heard about the KBB launch, which is the next thing that we're going to touch on. Okay, so I heard about the fact that Tony and Russell and Dean would be teaming up for a launch. Didn't really send off too many alarm bells for me at the time, but then when I heard about it again, I was like, I remember hearing about that. This is going to be big. Okay, and this was one of my biggest achievements in my online career so far. So the 750 was, I didn't want to heavily promote it without having purchased it and looked at the program. Again, same message there. So they did a deal for their affiliates. I couldn't find the receipt, but I'm pretty confident it was $750. I think it was like 50% off or something. And that was another one where I managed to not quite hit my goal. My goal was to finish top 10. I finished 11th. There's a whole story behind that for another day. But got to attend a party in Vegas with Russell and Dean and Tony and a bunch of other awesome people. And there's a photo there you guys can see. And so that purchase and that launch was a really critical. I wouldn't have been as successful in the launch if I didn't purchase the program and know what was in it. That helped with talking to people, that helped with ads, that helped with messaging, that helped with everything. Okay, because I was able to say, yes, it has it, no, it doesn't. I was able to really understand what they were trying to achieve, all of these things. Super important. Okay, number 9. Now, this is a course that some of you may have heard of, some of you may not have. GGMB stands for Group Growth and Monetization Blueprint. It's created by a guy named Andrew Cruzy, who is very, very well known in the Facebook marketing circles. This course gave me a lot more structure to running my group. It actually reinvigorated me a lot when it comes to running the group. I'd been running it this was October 19, so I'd been running it for call it a year and a half at this point. And when you do something consistently for that long, I had a couple of little breaks, but for the most part, pretty consistently, your motivation to really grow it and push it and put everything in can come off a little bit. So this investment really sparked that for me, and investing in programs for platforms that maybe you have been working on for a while, but maybe you've lost motivation a little bit, and this can give you renewed energy to do that. So this gave me some really great structure and training that I learned a ton from, has made me a lot of money, and have really, really carried forward. So that was GGMB. That was a 997 investment, and that was in October 2019. And then the last one, number 10, that I want to show you is coaching that I got. Now, this was one-to-one coaching, group coaching, and a course with a dude named Ben Slater. Now, Ben's from Australia as well, lives in Sydney, and it was 10,000 AUD, which at the time of filming this is called 7.2 US. And this was really a coaching program that I took on when I wanted to really kickstart the Super Affiliate Accelerator. So that was my first transition from just doing affiliate marketing to creating my own high ticket, fully fledged kind of flagship program. I'd done a smaller course previously, but this was at a different level. It's a $2,000 program, and I really wanted to do things right. So this is an example of investing in coaching when you want to achieve something specific, and you go out and find someone who can really, really help you do that. Working with Ben's been amazing. He's taught me a lot about marketing, a lot about sales, a lot about mindset, and he's a really, really impressive guy who's built quite a few seven-figure businesses, but he's done it with massive balance in his life. He's not sacrificed the things that he wants to do in order to achieve that. So I've learned a lot with Ben, still doing some work with him through the end of this year, and he has been massive in driving forward the growth of the Accelerator program, which is in the description if you want to check it out. Okay, so they're the 10. As I said, comes to just under 30K. And look, there's other ones along the way. This isn't everything that I bought. I've bought a lot of other little things here and there. But when I look back, these are the ones that have been really pivotal from a growth perspective, from a direction perspective, and really stand out to me when I look back at the journey over the last 3.5 years. Okay, so what is next, in case anyone's interested? I did a video yesterday talking about the fact that me and the guys that run the Accelerator program with me jumped into coaching with Becca. That's specifically around YouTube ads and call funnels and doing stuff over there that, or I guess over here if you're watching this on YouTube, that I've never touched before. So if you want the best, go to the best, pay the best. And that's what we've done with Becca, so really excited for that. Another guy that I'm going to be working with in the coming months and into 2021 is a guy named Big Luca. You may have heard of him, you may not have. He's been online for a few years. He's done some amazing stuff in the Italian market. Used to be in the US market, now he's exclusively in the Italian market. But he's worked directly with Dan Kennedy, and I'm a big fan of Dan Kennedy, and he's got some strategies and he's got a style that I really like. His path that he's taken also really speaks to me. So I'm going to be working with him around some stuff on positioning, around branding, and around direction really as well. So there might be more that come on, but that's where things sit as at today, in case you guys are interested. Still investing in myself, in my business, still trying to grow every single day, and that's in addition to the thousands of books that I've got sitting around me that I read when I get time. All right, so some key takeaways from all of this, right? Just remember that your investments and how much you spend on this kind of stuff, your education, your growth, your business, whatever you want to call it, it's going to grow as the business grows, the amounts. So don't look at some of these and freak out and think that you have to do that all right away. Like, it's going to grow as your business grows, right? And then as you develop as an entrepreneur, that's going to grow as well. Okay, and it's going to create this momentum if you keep leveraging it and rolling one thing into the next, which is another point we've got here. The other thing to remember too is your reasons for investing are going to change. So early on, people are looking for something that's going to solve all their problems, and that's totally okay. But once you get the baseline of your business set in place that we talk about, which is what do you want to promote, how do you want to promote it, and who do you want to promote it to, then you start to go, right, I want to add more offers. So you start working with people who can help you do that. Or I want to sell better. I need to get better funnels. I need to grow on Facebook, on YouTube. I want to run ads. So you strategically pick people to work with to improve those core pillars of your business, right? Like Becca with YouTube ads, like Ben when I wanted to roll out the program. You start to make decisions on who you invest your money to work with based on where you want to go. Number 3, big investments create big momentum. Okay, I'm a firm believer in this. If you want to go to the path of doing everything for free, that's fine. That's your decision to make. For me, making these big investments along the way, I would not be where I am today 100% without a shadow of a doubt had I not got some skin in the game and made these investments, right? They will give you a kick up the ass to get stuff done. And when one good thing happens, you can roll it into the next and continue to grow. We had an awesome month last month with the Accelerator program, but I'm not sitting on the beach for the rest of the year doing nothing. We jump into coaching with Becca. We expand. We do different things, right? You don't just stop. Because if I disappear for 3 months, no YouTube content, no Facebook content, don't help my students, you come back to nothing and you start again. Leverage momentum to create more momentum. All right. Remember this, it's worth the risk. When you spend money on stuff like this, yes, the downside can be big if it's a big investment, but it's capped. It's capped at the amount that you spend. Whereas the upside, if you invest in the right things, is massive. So yeah, you invest $5,000, let's say you lose it. That's awful, that sucks, I get it. But you can only lose that $5,000. Whereas if you make a good investment and you spend that $5,000 and invest in the right person, that could be 10K a month, 20K a month, 50K a month, 100K a month, depending on where you're at. The upside is massive. So be an optimist and don't be a skeptic. The people that I see are skeptics and are always negative, they never get anywhere. Okay, and the last thing I want to say is there's going to come a time where you're in this position too, and you look back and you're able to identify key investments in key moments, right, that have been critical to your story and your journey and how that all unfolds. So my advice to you is to keep your eyes open for opportunities. Don't just push them all away, right? Filter them, curate them. But if your gut tells you to go ahead with something, do it and move quickly. And then once you're in, that's when the fun begins and that's when the work starts, and you've got to back yourself and not second guess yourself. You've got to get to work, listen to the people that you pay for advice, and get it done so you can achieve those goals. Okay? That's all for me on this one. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. If you want to get into high ticket affiliate marketing, work with me and my team, check out the Super Affiliate Accelerator. Links are in the description. I'll talk to you all soon. Cheers.